Good morning. Good afternoon. I want to thank everyone who has joined us today. I want to especially thank Brett Morris, who is a in general in my office, for making himself available today. I'd like to take a moment to introduce the team that made today's announcement possible. So grant me a moment and let me go down a list of some of our phenomenal personnel at the Department of Justice. From our Fraud and Special Prosecutions Unit in the Criminal Division of our Legal Division, I want to thank Deborah Gard, who is an investigator, Asil Mahmood, Nick Fogg, both Deputy Attorney Generals, Brett Morris, who I mentioned, who is a supervising AG, who will be available for questions, Jim Root, who is the Senior Assistant AG in the Fraud and Special Prosecutions. And from our white collar investigation team under our Division of Law Enforcement, I want to acknowledge Scott Hunter, a special agent in charge, Chris Calgeri, who is the Director of the Bureau of Investigations, Ed Medrano, who is the Chief of the entire of Law Enforcement, and I would name others, but many of our personnel who participated in this action go undercover, and so it is best to leave some of the folks who made today's announcement possible still anonymous. And finally, I want to acknowledge Phil Ferrari, who is a special assistant to the Attorney General, who works on a number of these criminal justice and criminal law issues on my behalf. Once again, thanks again for being with us. Perhaps the best way to is to make 2 points. And those are the two most important points that I think I'm going to make today. First is watch out. That's it. Watch out. To anyone who's listening, to anyone who will get this information on today's press event, watch out. The second, if it seems too good to be true, then it probably isn't true. If it seems too good to be true, then it probably isn't true. Why? If it seems too good to be true, then it probably isn't true. If that's all you take from this press event, then I'll be happy. Because today we're announcing the arrest and charges against 3 individuals for operating a multimillion-dollar investment fraud scheme across the United States, not just California, and in fact, not just in the U.S., but around the world. That's what we're alleging against 3 defendants, Christopher Mancuso, John Black, and Joseph Tufo, today. Now, before I say anything more, it's important to repeat that criminal charges are only allegations against a person. Every defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. That being said, for at least a period of years, the 3 individuals I just named allegedly defrauded more than 70 victims out of more than $10 million. We're talking about people who potentially were cheated out of their retirement, college tuition for their kids, maybe their life savings. I've told this story before, but when I was a college student, I saw my parents cheated out of some money that they had worked hard to save. And while it wasn't a lot in comparison to today's money that we're talking about, for my parents, a construction worker and a clerk worker, it was quite a bit. Back then, I couldn't quite do enough to help them on my own, but with this incredible team that we have at the California Department of Justice, I can now help make a difference to protect the people of our state. And that's what today is about. The 3 defendants, again, Christopher Mancuso, John Black, and Joseph, allegedly, and again, I just want to say again, allegedly lured victims in by promising incredible returns on investments at little to no. What did I say? If it seems too good to be true, then it probably isn't. Some people were told that their $25,000 investment could be tripled in 4 months. One person was promised that a $100,000 investment with these 3 would be quadrupled in just 3 months. The list goes on. When these investments came, the defendants would usually send emails or tell various lies, including that there were delays caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Let me repeat that. they were allegedly using this crisis to perpetuate fraud. COVID-19 was being used to perpetuate fraud. And instead of actually doing what they promised, the defendants allegedly pocketed most of this money for themselves. It takes a particular kind of callousness to rob people of their life savings by selling them a false hope. In the criminal complaint that we filed, we're charging the defendants with a total of 32 felonies for, among other things, operating a fraudulent security scheme, grand theft, investment. And as part of today's action, we've also secured court orders freezing the defendants' assets, including bank accounts, cryptocurrency, and real estate. Today, we arrested Mancuso and Tufo in Orange County and Contra Costa County, respectively. Black is currently at large, and his last known whereabouts were in and around Sacramento County. Today's action is a result of a joint effort by our prosecutors and special agents in our white-collar investigation team. Through their hard work, we're going to bring the facts to light. This action, I should mention, is just the latest taken to protect our communities from fraud and deceit. We've taken down others of these fraudulent operations in the recent past, and we're going to do so. That's the purpose of this particular team. And I got to stress again, these kind of scams aren't new. As I said, if it seems to be true, then it probably is too good to be true. And it isn't what you want. So watch out, to be vigilant, and keep our eyes out for bad actors. With that, let me go ahead and see if we have any questions. And again, Brett and I are available to get into some of the details.
If you have any questions, please click on the raise hand icon to the right of your screen. Once approved, you will click continue. So again, click the raise hand icon to the right of your screen. Once approved, you need to click again, continue, to be put into the queue. You can also email us questions to read aloud, as well as send messages through this application. The first request is for remarks in Spanish.
Sure. Hoy estamos anunciando una acción, pero tal vez lo más importante que la acción que estamos tomando hoy es el aviso. Cuidado, o como se dice en muchos casos, aguas. Ten cuidado. Segundo, si algo parece ser imposible y tan bueno que no puede ser verdad, entonces la realidad es que no va a ser la verdad. Así que lo que vamos a anunciar hoy, o lo que estamos anunciando hoy, nos indica por qué es importante siempre tener cuidado y siempre estar seguro de lo que parece ser muy bueno para ser la realidad. Porque hoy anunciamos que 3 individuos participaron en una operación de defraudar a californianos, gente de este país y gente en otras partes del mundo. Estamos alegando nosotros, estamos haciendo este caso diciendo que estos 3 individuos se llevaron más de $10 millones de personas que estaban ahorrando su dinero para el retiro, para pagar para la universidad de sus hijos o para poder tener allí algo para las necesidades de la familia. Desafortunadamente, ese dinero ya no lo tienen esas familias. Y estamos tomando esta acción, esta queja criminal, tratando de buscar la justicia para todas estas familias que fueron defraudados de su dinero. Y por eso es tan importante que siempre tengan cuidado y sepan si algo parece ser muy bueno, tan bueno que no puede ser real, entonces la probabilidad es que no es verdad. Con eso podemos